So obstacles include two different types of obstacles: environmental barriers and personal barriers. This was the earlier topic which we had covered. Now moving ahead, one small topic, very small topic, strengths of entrepreneur. We have already seen the characteristics, the skills, etc. of entrepreneur. Now here you can see what are the commonly required strengths of an entrepreneur. Like if you want to become a successful entrepreneur and have a profitable business, there are certain strengths which these people have. Ordinary people should have, like you should have a good vision. Vision in the sense you should be able to see what other people cannot see. Like you should see the trend in the market. As an entrepreneur, you should know what is rightly trending in the market, which is not rightly trending in the market, and you should be able to spot it clearly. That is vision. That is why there are a lot of success stories how an entrepreneur is. We have seen the definition, searching for opportunity and using it for his or her success. So vision is important. Then, as we know, creativity. Creativity means thinking outside the box, thinking outside out of the box. You need an idea, and that idea should be something very unique, and you need to even solve the problems which comes to you day by day, comes in front of you. For all these things you need to think out of the box and make the best decision for your business. Courage. Courage is the ability to act in all circumstances, because fear, what happens when you're fearing anything, when you're afraid of anything, you have a tendency not to try those things, and people even stop taking decisions in such times. But like it could be any type of fear, but and people don't even act during such circumstances. But a successful entrepreneur is someone who is different. They are ready to take risk, we know, because uncertainty or risk bearing are all characteristics of entrepreneur. They have the courage to take the action even though they are feared, and they are ready to overcome any type of circumstances, any type of challenges which are coming in front of their way. Self confidence, the ability to withstand criticism, we can say. You at least, as an individual, you at least should be very much confident about your capability. All the successful entrepreneurs have very high confidence on their ideas, decisions, plans, etc. They will simply believe that their ideas will bring them success. They might be receiving lot of negative vibes, lot of criticisms against that, but such criticisms also should be taken positively, and this should be considered as a ladder for the success. Self control, how to control your emotions and desire. Like discipline hona chahiye, self discipline. All of us are having emotion, desire. Some of us are lazy, some of us are impatient. People are varying in different features, different characteristics and all. But how do we actually overcome this? We should have self control, or the ability to control our emotion and desire, and act according to the situation. So this is just a general point regarding strength of entrepreneur. Now, how to overcome the weakness? We have already seen here. Now, we have already seen here the obstacles, barriers, and all. So, some general points on how to overcome such weakness, or how do we uh, overcome these challenges? What makes a successful entrepreneur ready or prepared to overcome these challenges? First one is define assignments and delegate authority. Define assignments. Give clear-cut instructions to the subordinates or to the people, and delegate the work. Delegate means divide the work, and it means that you should be sometimes dependable on others also. As an entrepreneur, you cannot take everything into your head. That will unnecessarily create stress, and it will affect the further decision making process. Instead, give clear instructions, define the assignments, define the work, define the role to be played by other people in your enterprise, and delegate the authority properly. Then select the best subordinate. This is a very important managerial responsibility where the employees are to be selected properly. Like when I have just now told you about delegating authority. Like when you're delegating the authority, it's very important to see the capability and qualifications of the other person, and in the light of the job to be done, the best subordinate should be selected. Then managing open communication or maintaining open communication. The thing is, communication is again very important in every organization. You know, there are formal and informal communication. Already you have learned in your first year. Now, when a superior is giving authority to the subordinate, it does not mean that the communication is stopping over there. It means that again, more and more further communication should actually improve. What happens when there is no lack of communication, when there is no coordination and all, there will be some kind of confusion in the organization. This will create more and more trouble in the organization between the subordinates and the superior. In establishing proper control, even though the superior has delegated some authority, some work to the subordinate, he or she is still responsible for controlling the entire activity. They should see that some kind of techniques are used so that the movement of the company is not hindered. Then comes using reward. Rewards are very effective, and when the employees are seen to be successfully working, or when the employees are seen or found out that they are doing their work in a proper way, they should be justly rewarded. It could be any types of rewards. You will be learning it. Monetary rewards, non-monetary rewards, etc. So this reward need not be every time monetary or financial rewards. It could be in the form of some other additional responsibility or some words, some praising, some kind of a written acknowledgement, anything. So through this way, the organization can be working as a team. So, and one more thing is, because of this, entrepreneur can focus more on many other important activities. Now, now one more topic here is external influences on entrepreneurship development. This is very easy topic you have already learned in your business environment in your second semester. You might have learned about it. Different factors which are affecting the business. The same thing is repeating here. External influences on entrepreneurship development. Like here you can see social factors, cultural factors, political factors, economic factors, personal factors, and availability of resources. So, social factors, the things which are there in the society, it means it involves all the social factors, like it involves the society, it involves the people who are living here, the nature of the people who are living here, the security an entrepreneur is enjoying in a society, the factors which are helping an entrepreneur to grow and survive in a society. All those things are coming under social factors. Cultural refers to the beliefs, we can say customary beliefs. Customary beliefs means the customs, the traditions, etc., which are having having a very big impact, very important impact on the people. Like we can say the values, the behaviors, etc., of the people. Now, then comes political factors. Political factors are very much important for the success of a business, because the government policies, the ruling government, their policies, government support for the business, like with the support in the sense like by providing infrastructural development, facilitations, uh, then tax benefits, then we can say laws, acceptable laws in the economy. All these things come under political factors. Then comes economic factors. Under economic factors, we can say that it's money related. It explains about the purchasing power of the people. Then it also discusses about the conditions in the market, like depression or economic slowdown, recession, growth. These things are explained in the economic factors. And personal factors are individual factors which affects the business. The individual factors in the sense the characteristics of the entrepreneur, like hard work, persistence, the willpower, determination, those things. Then comes availability of resources. Availability of resources also to a extent very important factor which affects the entrepreneurship, because we need all these resources. We have already seen no mobilization of resources is very important. What are the resources? Men, machine, capital, like we can say capital, human assets, raw materials, infrastructural facilities, other utilities. Infrastructure में आएंगे buildings, vehicles, etc. Apart from that, utilities are also required. Utilities में आएंगे, the power connection, electricity connection, the water supply, all those things will come under utility. So of course capital is the most important thing. We have already seen finance is the lifeblood of any business. Capital remains indispensable to start an enterprise. Apart from the capital, we also need human beings or human assets, the HR people who are keeping the business running. And that too, we should remember that no enterprise will succeed without skilled and committed workforce. Then we require raw materials for starting the business, physical infrastructure, communication facilities, everything. So these are all different factors which influence the entrepreneurial development. And in an economy, it's very important that such factors are there, which actually we can say these factors commit towards the growth of entrepreneurs. Just imagine if everything is there, like social factors, cultural factors, everything, but if the ruling government is not supportive of the entrepreneurship, how will the entrepreneurs survive in a country? So government policies, nowadays we can say more and more companies are coming forward. Government is supporting a lot for starting up of businesses. Same way, or you have all these things are ready, but you're not getting raw materials required for starting your particular idea, your particular business idea. Then, so all these factors, one way or the other, are very much important for entrepreneurship development. Now, now here one more topic is there, one small topic, I'll just discuss it. It's a very simple topic. What is an enterprise? We have seen who is an entrepreneur. Who is an entrepreneur? Is a person who starts a business. And we have also seen what is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship means the process of starting the business. Now, what is enterprise? Just listen. What is enterprise? Enterprise is the firm or the company which an entrepreneur is starting, isn't it? So it is an undertaking or any kind of we can say basic unit for starting an organization. It might be like if it's small entrepreneurs and all, they might be starting it from their home only, and later on when they grow, when they evolve, when they succeed, they will be moving into their own building, their own office, like that. So enterprise is the basic unit for every organization, and it is from this enterprise all other things are starting, like people will be sitting together, the enterprise will be mobilizing the raw materials, the productions of function will happen. So enterprise is that place where all such activities are happening. That is one thing you have to remember. Then entrepreneur and manager, are they both the same? That is another topic here, very small topic. Are entrepreneurs and managers the same? Now, a professional manager, to be a professional manager, you should have the required knowledge which can be attained through education, through proper education, through proper qualification. But and otherwise, an entrepreneur, to be successful, it is not necessary that you should have that qualifications or that knowledge in them. Many great entrepreneurs are self-made. Self-made in the sense they were not, it is not that they were not educated, they were educated, but at the same time they came out through their skills and intelligence. But at the same time, a professional manager need to possess specific management knowledge relating to the product. They should know basic knowledge about entrepreneurship, etc. So many times we can say that an entrepreneur and a manager, both these terms are used together, used simultaneously, or it is used interchangeably. And many of the times we can see that there are overlapping of the roles performed. So the thing is that in every situation, both are not the same. An entrepreneur is someone who starts a business, who takes care of the business, but a manager does not start a business. Manager is just working for an entrepreneur, and that is manager just has to work under the entrepreneur. Then entrepreneur is motivated by profit, but manager is motivated by the salary or the rewards which he or she is getting. And in order to maximize the profit, the entrepreneur is having more responsibility. The entrepreneur has to think and innovate from time to time to run the business and make it successful. At the same time, manager just have to keep the things moving as per the requirement of the entrepreneur. So we can say the risk is less for the manager. And entrepreneur is his own boss because he is the owner of the company. He is self-employed, but a manager is someone who is working under a boss. So in this way, we can say that a paid manager will be different, completely different from that of an entrepreneur. So these are various concepts over here. Now, one more last topic is there that we will discuss in the next lecture. Okay.